Honestly, I don't know if, the Rockets can beat the Thunder.
without Russell Westbrook. Because then it's gonna have to come down to James Harden, just turning up every game. And I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability to do that for, 4 to 7 games, but I feel like, night in and night out, the Thunder are gonna send, everything they got at him. And all he's gonna have is a bunch of average shooters around him. No, other star to support him. But meanwhile, he got to deal with, Shea Gildas Alexander, Chris Paul, Darius Baisley. He got to deal with Steven Adams, and the Rockets run small ball, so that's going to be a nightmare for them. And I just think that without Russell Westbrook, James Harden is going to have to do everything. And imagine when James Harden goes to the bench, it's gonna be hell for the Rockets. Because the only person who has a chance of, really being a good shot creator is Austin Rivers now. Because Eric Gordon's injured too, but people forgot about that. So I think it's possible that they can beat them, but I think the Thunder have a much bigger shot now that Westbrook is injured for the first round than when he was healthy. If he was healthy, it wouldn't be close at all. Like it would literally be a blowout. One of the easiest series ever to predict. But now that Westbrook is injured, it throws everybody in the community for a loop. Cause it's like, can James Harden really carry the Rockets without no other superstar help against a very deep team over there in OKC? And there's a narrative. I'm pretty sure CB3 is gonna play even harder than he normally would because Houston just gave up on him. They just gave him away. They told him they wasn't gonna trade him. They gave him a huge contract. Everything was pointing to them keeping them together. It's Chris Paul and James Harden, running back this year. But at the last second, they pulled the trigger on a trade. And I'm sure OKC is gonna. Well, if Russ was playing, they would have had to deal with his fury because they just traded him after he was loyal all those years. I know he requested a trade, but they kind of gave him no choice because that would have been his second time, staying with them through a rebuild. And also, the Thunder got a chip on their shoulder anyway because ESPN gave them a 0.2 chance to make the playoffs, and then now here they are. They're not like climbing in at the 8 or 7 seed. They actually have a solid playoff spot. Like they deserve to be there. And I just think, honestly, if Houston loses this series, I'm officially a non-believer in that system, in James Harden and Westbrook. I'll blame Westbrook for everything that happened in the past. I'll blame all his losses on him. And if James Harden can't get it done, then I just won't believe in that whole ISO thing anymore. And if they lose, I definitely will not believe in small ball anymore. I'm not a believer right now, because really, the only thing that keeps them in games is 3-point shots. And historically, Houston is known to go cold in the playoffs from 3 after they missed them 27 3-pointers against the Warriors. So it's like, can I rely on Houston to hit threes in consecutive games in order to win against the Thunder? Because I don't know if I can. Because sometimes they're hot. If they're not that hot, there's nothing you can do about it. But when they're cold, they're freezing, shivering cold like Antarctica or something. So really, who I think is going to win this series, I still think Houston is going to win, but it's going to be more competitive now that Westbrook is out. So instead of it being, 4 or 5 games, I see it going at least 6. Because, Chris Paul and James Harden are on very different levels. Chris Paul is still a star and all, but James Harden is on a way different level than him. And, that team over there in Houston has chemistry. And like I said, if they're hitting their threes, then there's nothing that can stop them. If they're not hitting their threes, then OKC has a chance. And if OKC can gel for the entire series, and Shea stays hot, and Chris Paul stays hot, and everybody else just, helps out, and they find a way to contain James Harden a little bit, then I think they also got a shot. But I'm picking Houston to win that series. Alright, y'all, if you stayed to the end of the video, thank you. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.